feel kind of stalled in the decluttering process, maybe you're just not making as much progress as you thought you would, well, in today's video, I want to talk about some of the ways you may be decluttering wrong to help you get back on track and help you make more progress more quickly. Hanging on to sell items for too long can really stall your progress. I have nothing against selling items, especially if they're worth a little bit more, like you feel like you could get $25, $50, maybe $100. But if you have things up on Facebook Marketplace or they're on Craigslist and they're just not budging, give yourself a time frame. If it hasn't sold within a weekend or a couple days, just declutter it, get rid of it. Not using a sorting system can definitely hinder your progress and contribute to more overwhelm and less progress all around. So I like having two bins, a relocate bin and a donate bin. The things that you are keeping can just go right back into that space. Oh, and a garbage. You've got to have a trash bag, but not having yourself set up with either boxes or bags and not knowing how you're gonna kind of sort these items can really slow you down. Likewise, just going into a room like I used to do at the beginning of my decluttering journey and pile things up into a huge heap, getting every single item out of a specific space, that can be really overwhelming. So instead of doing this, maybe try sorting things into like piles and like categories. Even if you only spend 10 minutes doing this, it can really make things clear what you're going to keep, what you're going to discard. I just did not have a clear picture of how I should declutter once I decided to start this journey, and I decluttered so much. I did not do a gentle decluttering system. I went full beast mode for weeks upon weeks upon weeks, and I completely wore myself out. Beast mode is fine. I actually love it. If you just get in there, set the timer, and get a ton done in 30 minutes, 10 minutes, it can be absolutely incredible. But if you don't give yourself a break in between, and if you don't let yourself rest, you are going to burn out really fast, really hard. Avoiding difficult areas. This one is so tough. I agree that your closet, baby clothes, keepsakes, photos, kids' artwork, this stuff is tough. This stuff is really hard because it pulls on our emotions, and in some cases we have to feel like we're decluttering our fantasy selves or we're getting rid of memories of our childhood. I understand the kind of games that we kind of play in our head with this that make it very difficult, but avoiding the difficult areas altogether is not going to help you in the long run. If you want to save these areas for last, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I did my keepsake stuff very last because I knew how hard it was going to be for me. So go ahead and build your decluttering muscles, gain some stamina, get some momentum, but don't avoid these areas altogether. They have to be gone through at some point, and going in with a plan can really help you with this. Don't overwhelm yourself with all of this prep work, but just have a couple of ideas in mind about how you're actually going to approach decluttering and how you're going to get things done. Not following the 5-second rule of decluttering can really hang you up and stall your progress. This is where you have an item and you need to decide within 3 to 5 seconds at the most if you're actually going to keep the item or not. So I'm gonna pick this up. I'm gonna say, holy cow, this is really cute, but you know, I don't actually have anywhere that I can put this right now. Instead of talking myself into it, I remember that I spent like $20 on this. I know I'm not using it right now, but maybe I can use it later. Actually, I'm gonna see if anybody in my neighborhood wants this. I wonder if I could pop this up on Facebook Marketplace and get like $5 for it. I mean, you can see where I'm going. It can go on and on and on. I'm just gonna hold this up and I'm gonna say, you know what? This is really cute. Yes, I spent some money on it, but it's declutter time. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this because I actually don't have anywhere to put it in my house, and I don't hold on to stuff that I don't have a space for. Done and done. The longer you hold the item, the longer you keep the item, the more likely you are to talk yourself into keeping it all together, and this is not the way to make big decluttering progress. Waiting until the perfect time to declutter is another thing that could be majorly stalling your progress. It is really tempting to wait and say, I'm gonna wait until we have, you know, a new dining room set or a new couch, or I really wanted to paint the bedroom and I'm just not gonna feel like it's ready if I declutter now and then I'm just unhappy with it because we haven't done the project. project, there are 101 reasons to feel like you should put it off. There will always be an excuse not to declutter. Remember that. If you know that there's always going to be an excuse there, a little bully on your shoulder telling you that you shouldn't do it yet, being prepared for this feeling and then kicking it to the curb is really, really helpful. Using lack of time can be a huge excuse that we continue to give ourselves to keep us stuck. We're just thinking, I am tired. I'm tired of making these decisions. I'm fatigued, I'm overwhelmed. Decluttering is a lot of work and no one can do it for you. It is a lot of work, trust me, I know. But just using little 5 and 10-minute bursts where you can be a really, really great way to combat this feeling that you just don't have time. You just don't have energy. Just declutter teeny tiny little bursts and keep going back to that area. In fact, I have a little dot system that I want to share with you. I grabbed these little dot stickers at the dollar store. If you've got a project you're working on, say you're decluttering some drawers, and obviously I need to go through mine. Let's say I work for a little while and I'm just not done. I'm going to put this dot here. I need to come back and finish this spot. You can also use these as timers. So like red would take the longest, yellow would take a medium amount of time, and blue means the project is almost finished. Tote shuffling is a real thing. I know this because I did this for years and years and years. What tote shuffling is where you have bins. Let's say it's baby items, keepsake items, books, anything at all that you've put into these big organization bins that you shuffle from room to room. You shuffle around your garage. You shuffle from home to home as you move, and you don't actually go through the item. You feel like because they're in a bin, they're organized. All my stuff is organized, it's contained, it's not bothering me, and you just continue to shuffle and shuffle and shuffle the tote. There are a couple problems with this. Number one, the items are not being utilized. Now, if they're baby clothes, and I did mention those, and you're not sure if you're done having a baby, that's totally fine. Just make sure you go through the clothes and make sure there's no stains on these things. You might be storing way, way more than you actually need to, and whether you think it is or not, your stuff is weighing you down. It's taking a mental toll. It makes moving harder when you have more bins. It makes rearranging the basement or finishing the basement more difficult when you have bins on top of bins on top of bins. I am making a huge mistake right now and hindering my decluttering progress because for some reason, I don't know what happened to my donate bins. They just kind of got scattered about. Now they're being used for laundry, whatever, but I don't have set up donate bins. I used to have one at the top of the stairs and one in the hallway leading to the basement and one in the garage, and it made it really, really easy to just toss stuff in. I have felt, as I've not had these donate bins set up, that I have really let things pile up in my space because it's not easy. This is something that the book Atomic Habits talks about that I think is so profound. Make it easy. Make what you're trying to do seem extremely doable and not a huge burden. You will be so much more likely to actually do the thing that you want to do, in this case, decluttering your space. So make it easy for yourself. I need to get my donation bins set back up because I have really, really missed them. This leads me right into my next one, which is don't declutter other people's stuff. I know this one is so tough. I lead by example, and I know a lot of people recommend doing this as well, but make it easy for the family members or the people you're living with to declutter their stuff also by giving them a donation bin or showing them where the donation bins are. You could, if you don't want to be super direct, you could even have your family go, hey, could you please go put this old blanket in that donate bin at the top of the stairs? And that's a really subtle hint and a subtle way, if you're not wanting like I said, to be direct, of letting your family know, hey, we're getting rid of stuff and this is where stuff goes if you are wanting to declutter anything, and it maybe just will get their wheels turning and they'll think, oh, you're going to DI on Saturday? Let me grab a couple things. Here's another video on the screen to help you get motivated and make more decluttering progress. I'll meet you over there.